Hey there, I'm Cliffhanger, and today we're diving into the movie City of God. In this brutal corner of Rio de Janeiro, armed kids enforce their own savage rules, gunning down drug dealers without remorse. Based on a true story, the film kicks off with a symbolic cooking scene, hinting that some characters are about to be plucked like chickens. Suddenly, one chicken escapes, and a pack of armed miners, hungry and dangerous, chase after it through the alleys. Our main character, nicknamed Rocket, is strolling down the street with a friend, discussing his dream of becoming a newspaper photographer. But to get there, he needs a photo of the feared local gang leader, Lil Zay. Just then, a runaway chicken dashes by, followed by a crowd of young thugs led by none other than Lil Zay. He commands Rocket to catch the bird, and as Rocket moves in, he doesn't notice the police creeping up behind him. Tension builds, with Rocket caught between two hostile forces ready to open fire. We're thrown back to the 1960s, where Rocket is still a kid playing football with other street kids in the City of God, a slum with no paved roads, no public transit, and no electricity. The neighborhood is ruled by a trio of petty criminals: Rocket's brother, Goose, Sharpie, and their leader, shaggy-haired Clipper. Clipper's younger brother, Benny, is best friends with a bold and reckless boy named Lil Dice, who has no problem hanging out with criminals. This trio of troublemakers hijack a gas delivery truck, rob the driver, and play Robin Hood by distributing the gas canisters to locals. The celebration doesn't last long. Cops show up. The gang swaps shirts to blend into the crowd and disappear. Rocket returns home with some cash from Goose, admiring the poverty-stricken scenery. Everyone celebrates when a new utility pole is installed. Finally, electricity is coming. Clipper plans a hotel robbery with Lil Dice tagging along, eager to prove himself. Dice is left outside as a lookout while the older boys rob the guests. They flee the scene in a stolen car, but when they regroup, Dice is nowhere to be found. Moments later, we see the aftermath of the robbery, bodies strewn across the hotel floor. Back in the favela, the gang crashes into a bar and strips to hide their identities. A nosy kid calls the cops. While on the trail, the police discuss whether to keep the stolen loot for themselves. Hiding in a tree, Goose and Sharpie overhear and realize someone's snitching. Clipper evades capture and hides out with a girl he likes. The next morning, Sharpie turns over a new leaf and heads to church. Goose gets chewed out by their father and advises Rocket to focus on school and build a better life. Clipper tries to flirt with a girl but gets shut down, momentarily. Police raids become a common scene in the favela, but the robbers remain at large. 3 months pass. Clipper's still in hiding, assuming the police killed everyone at the hotel and that Dice ratted them out. Sharpie's now religious. Goose is selling fish and having an affair with a married woman. Her husband catches them and beats her while Goose flees. The scandal gets Rocket in trouble with the police, who search their home. Disgusted, the father disowns Goose. Rocket says no one ever saw his brother in the City of God again. He disappeared, only to later rob Benny and Dice, ordering Benny to tell Clipper that Dice had sold them out. Meanwhile, the cuckolded husband tries to cover up his wife's death, but the neighbors report him. Reporters arrive. Clipper, realizing it's time to run, hijacks a car GTA style. When it won't start, he's forced to push it, drawing attention. Cops spot him and open fire. The girl escapes, but Clipper is gunned down. Rocket watches the journalists photographing the corpse and decides he wants to be a photojournalist. Now, we're in the 1970s. A teenage Rocket owns a cheap camera and takes snapshots of classmates. He has a crush on Angelica, a tough girl who will one day be tough enough to hunt aliens on other planets. Rocket promises to get her some weed. He buys it from Blackie, a former classmate working under a dealer named Carrot. But when he shows up to buy a joint, in walks an older, far more dangerous Lil Dice, now calling the shots and going by the name Lil Zay. We flash back to his origin story. Turns out he was the one who killed everyone at the hotel during that robbery. After fleeing the neighborhood, he and Benny committed petty crimes until Dice eventually murdered Goose in cold blood. His thirst for violence never left, and by 18, Dice, now Zay, was a full-blown gangster. But Zay isn't content. He envies drug dealers who manage to be both ruthless and successful. He kills off his competition and starts building a drug empire. He even gets a new street name from a local shaman, Lil Zay. Zay wipes out rival dealers, but spares Carrot, Benny's friend. At Carrot's place, Rocket spots a chance to avenge Goose, but he's outnumbered. Benny recognizes Rocket as Goose's brother and lets him go. Zay's drug empire recruits kids to work every level of the business: couriers, lookouts, dealers, soldiers, even accountants. The cops let it happen in exchange for a cut. Ironically, the City of God becomes a safer place under a madman's rule, safe enough for rich kids to buy drugs in peace, but Rocket still fears him. So Rocket buys weed from Carrot instead. He needs it for a hangout with Angelica. Her ex, Tiago, is hooked on coke and becomes friends with Benny, bringing fancy clothes and big city flair to the favela. Benny gets a new haircut and tries to blend in with the upper crowd. There, he runs into Rocket and Angelica. Zay mocks Benny's transformation and demands they kill Carrot. Benny refuses. Meanwhile, Zay's crew clashes with a gang of younger kids causing chaos, just like Zay once did. To set an example, Zay forces one boy to kill another and shoots a second in the leg to deliver a message. The boys later rob a supermarket where Rocket works. The manager fires him, thinking he helped them. This pushes Rocket toward crime. He grabs Goose's old gun and tries to rob a bus ticket guy with a friend, but they're recognized by Ned, a handsome local. Their heist fails again at a bakery when the flirty cashier distracts Rocket. Then they try to rob a lost driver, but thanks to weed and good music, they bond instead. Meanwhile, police discover a girl's body in a ditch. She was Blackie's girlfriend, murdered in a jealous rage. Zay is furious about the heat and wants to kill Blackie, but Benny convinces him just to exile the guy. Benny then moves in with Angelica, who urges him to leave the slums. At his farewell party, Zay gets rejected by some girls. Angry, he lashes out, forcing a dancer to strip at gunpoint. Tiago shows up, offering Rocket a camera to trade for drugs. Benny grabs it as a gift for Rocket, leading to a fight. In the chaos, Blackie sneaks up and fires a shot meant for Zay, but hits Benny instead. Angelica cries over his body, while Zay blames her. Blackie runs to Carrot, bragging he killed Benny, unaware he hit the wrong man. Realizing Benny was the only one keeping Zay somewhat sane, Carrot kills Blackie and braces for war. Zay soon assaults a girl after being rejected again, this time in front of her boyfriend Ned. Later, Zay challenges Ned to a fight, but Ned's brother steps out instead and stabs Zay. In retaliation, Zay's gang opens fire, killing him and his uncle. Carrot gives Ned a gun, and he storms Zay's turf, killing one of his men and scattering the rest. Locals praise Ned for standing up to the tyrant. War erupts. Armed to the teeth, gangs light up the night with gunfire. Kids become soldiers, seeking revenge. One night, Ned finds a dead boy in the street. As he gently closes the child's eyes, he's shot by a hidden gunman and taken to the hospital. From there, he gives an interview, seen on TV by Rocket, now a newspaper delivery boy. Zay is enraged. He's the boss, yet Ned gets the media spotlight. Furious, he scours the papers and wants photos taken of himself. Tiago brings Rocket to do it. Rocket takes the shots and develops the film. A journalist takes the photos and runs the story. Rocket is horrified to see Zay's gang on the front page. He feels exposed. Still, he's paid well and offered a job. But first, he needs more photos. Though hesitant, he agrees and ends up crashing at the reporter's place, where he finally loses his virginity. Meanwhile, the arms dealer Zay, double-crossed, gets killed by corrupt cops who now want to erase the evidence. As Zay throws a party for his gang, the earlier chicken-chasing scene plays out. The cops back off. Zay tells Rocket to snap a few final pics. Just then, Carrot's gang arrives and a shootout erupts. Rocket hides and captures it all on film. Ned, wounded but alive, helps a boy who shoots him in the back for revenge. His father was killed by Ned during a robbery. Both the boy and Ned die. Cops show up and arrest Zay and Carrot. Rocket keeps snapping photos. When the police bribe their way into releasing Zay, the street kids ambush and kill him. Rocket captures the final image of the slain kingpin. Now, Rocket has a choice: sell the photo and get the job, or expose the corrupt police and risk everything. He chooses silence. The next day's papers announce the death of the City of God's most feared gangster. In the final scene, Rocket and a friend walk the streets, dreaming of his future as a journalist. Behind them, the new generation of armed kids is already forming a hit list, but none of them can read or write, and so they march off into the distance, into the endless cycle of life in the slums.